It's so strange that it's only going 50%. It doesn't make any sense to me. Let me put on studio. That'll work. That's much better.
Here we go. Let's see how that is. Okay, that's really nice. Okay, so basically what I want to talk about is twofold. Okay, why is and we'll look up some stats real quick. What was the NBA viewer? Yep, at peak. Okay. All right. What is the NBA viewership now? Okay. And we'll just combine that. Okay. And let's talk about it because I think there's several reasons why this has happened. And I don't think it's just gameplay, but I think gameplay has a lot to do with it. So we're gonna go off of let's go off of a few different things, okay? All right. Let's say AI is somewhat correct, which it usually is not. But let's say for these two stats, it is. Okay. At its peak, NBA viewership was 29 million, 29.4 million. Okay. With a peak, this is for NBA finals, with a peak at 35.89 million viewers. Okay. That's a lot of people. That's 10% of America was watching that NBA finals. All right. In 2024-25, NBA regular season saw an average of 1.53 million. Now, that doesn't really. You know what I need to do? Let's do apples to apples. NBA viewership, finals 2024. There we go. So, on average, the NBA finals had 11.3 million viewers. So from 29 million to 11.3 is a huge drop. Okay. A huge drop. And the question becomes is why did it drop like this? So I think that I'm gonna make this smaller real quick and we'll put it behind this stuff. I think there's a couple of different reasons. Okay. The first reason I think, and maybe I should make a list. Yeah, if I can make a list here. All right. What are the reasons for why the NBA reasons the NBA viewership is falling? All right. Let's go with number one. I think the biggest problem they have is gameplay. Gameplay. And we'll expand on that in a second. Issue number two. Lack of public availability. Okay. Number three. Rise of esports. So I don't know how much that's still true. Yeah, I'm not sure how much that's still true. And then let's see. What else? Unrecognizable. Okay, let me put that under this other area actually. Okay, let's talk about gameplay real quick because I think this is a big part of it. I gotta remember that I am not on a Mac when I'm at home. Oh my goodness, there's no way you guys can see that. I probably should go 36. Let me go 36. That'll do. That's better. All right. So the reasons why viewership is falling. Okay. Back in the day when I was growing up, there was 6 channels for free. Maybe 7. Okay. It was channel 2, channel 4, channel 5, channel 7, channel 9, which no one watched, channel 11, and channel 13. Okay. There were 7. There were 7 channels. Okay. Today we have like 1 million channels. Okay. Okay, let me not go there yet because this is here. And I really think this is a totally secondary issue. Okay. Why does A come up in my mind? I will explain this. I played basketball in high school in the 90s. Okay. It was not a simple game. You had to be willing to go into the lane and get laid out by somebody and the call not be called. You had to be smart enough to play against bigger players and pull them down if you had to and try to figure out a way to not get called for those fouls. And it was a full contact sport. I cut my lip open. There were times that we ran practices so hard that I would be dry heaving. We ran 4 days, I want to say. Let me think about how we did that. No, we ran 3 a days preseason, which meant that you got to school at 5 a.m. You started practice at like 5:15. You ran till like 6:15. And then you had 30 minutes to get showered and you went to school. And then you had a 2 o'clock practice. You went home for 2 hours and you came back. You had a 6 o'clock practice. I don't think they do that anymore. So when you were playing basketball during the season, you were playing basketball. The issue that you run into now is the game that I played in the 90s is not the game that they're playing in the NBA right now. So the legacy basketball players like myself get bored to tears watching the current NBA. And it's nothing against the guys' skills. The guys nowadays have like amazing skills, like really, truly amazing skills. They're just playing a basketball game that I don't understand. Like you can't touch another person and check them. You can't hand check. You can't push a person out of the lane. You can't do anything really. You can't do anything physical on defense. And so when I was growing up, 50% of the guys didn't even care about offense because they weren't good at it. Okay. Actually, like it's probably more like 75% of the guys didn't care about offense because they weren't good at it. So if you weren't good at it, you better know how to play that. You better know how to play defense. So if you create a game where defense doesn't matter and all you're watching is offense, you lose 50% to 75% of your legacy basketball fans who used to play basketball. Okay, that's problem number 1. So unrecognizable gameplay dynamics. Unrecognizable play dynamics. You really just don't want to watch that. It's not the game that you grew up with. When I was playing basketball with my brothers in New York, growing up in the 90s, and we played some hard basketball on pavement, like in the dirt, on the side, like we played some hard basketball. Like it was not unheard of that we would go inside with bloody lips and an elbow to the chest and like bruises and scrape our knees because we were going after the ball, and this is just playing in our backyard. So when we see games like the game I saw today, where the vast majority of people are just trying to yank up threes, and it just makes no sense. I shouldn't say that. It makes a lot of sense statistically, and it makes a lot of sense to win games. I get it. But it does not it's not entertaining. It's just not entertaining. And nowadays people have other options. Okay, so that's the first thing. It's not entertaining at all. I shouldn't say that. It's not as entertaining to basketball players, to the old school basketball players. Like right now, I think football seems more similar, and I'm more interested in football because it's more recognizable to me because I used to play when I was in high school, or was it high school? Yeah, high school or middle school, whatever. When I played football, it looked like football. And when I look at the NFL, it looks like the football I used to play. So, like, that's why football, I think, right now is not losing as much of their viewership or at the rate that the NBA is losing it. And I don't think it's going up. I think it's trending down. Let me see if that's true. Yeah, it's trending down, guys. Yeah, it's trending down hard. Not that hard. About 300,000 people per year less are watching the game. So, the crazy thing to me too is like you have to wait until the NBA playoffs to actually see the game that you were used to watching back in the day. Now, there's another problem. It's not available to the masses anymore. So, in 1990, let's see. Let's go back to the peak, right? Where was the peak? Peak was 1997, 98. So I was a senior in high school in 1997. I did not go to high school in 1998. So this was my senior year. The year after my senior year, okay, was the NBA Finals. That was at its peak. Where was I? I was working for Office Max right before I went to no, I was just coming out of my first semester of college. So I went mid-semester to Wagner College, and I was coming out of my first semester of college. I believe this 100%, and I tell you why. Basketball was everything to me in high school. I used to play on the team. The last 2 years of my high school, I played on varsity. The first 2 years of high school, I played on junior varsity. I loved basketball, and I was lucky enough to go to a small enough school that a person with no really physical talent could play basketball. But I loved the game, and I studied the game, and I practiced the game, and I played it all the time with my brothers. So during that time, okay, when the Utah Jazz was going to the finals, there was a time when one of the Utah Jazz players broke his leg. His name is John Stockton. You can look this up. He broke his leg during the game and finished the game. I don't think we have. I'm trying to think if there's one guy in the NBA right now who I think could actually do that. I just don't. I can't even think about it. I can't even, yeah. I can't even think about it. I don't even know. I don't even know. Not only that, but the most famous basketball player in the league right now is LeBron James. Guess what, guys? LeBron James has been the leader of this train wreck. He's been in the league since almost 2000, I want to say. I want to say it was 2003. Yeah, 2003. So LeBron started in the league in 2003, and he's like the most famous person in basketball right now. Now, is he the best player in the world right now? No, he's 42 years old, 43 years old, whatever. He's old to be playing in the NBA. Can't jump like he used to. And he's just done too many miles on the basketball court. It's just the way it is. He's done twice as many miles as like the closest next person. That's for sure. And so I'll give him props for longevity, but no offense, this is the guy who's kind of led this third party really into the ground. And the question becomes why? Well, because it's now a game of marketing. It's not a game of basketball. When I signed up to play basketball for my high school basketball team, I had to sign like a waiver that was basically the same waiver as the football team's waiver because it was a full contact sport. It was not unheard of for someone to break their arm playing basketball. It was not unheard of for someone to break their leg during basketball, or to lose a tooth, or cut their lip. I cut my lip. I have a scar still. Cut my lip doing drills during practice, and it's because it was a full contact sport. And right now, it does not feel like a full contact sport. It feels like, and I put this in my Twitter post, it feels like two teams of ballerinas trying to dance around each other. Not only that, it's just offense. Like the whole game is offense. Now, I will say this, in the NBA playoffs, it's different. It starts to look like the old game, okay? And the reason why there are players that show up in the postseason but don't show up all year, like Rondo, is because those are the only games that matter. And why would you waste your miles on playing the regular season when all you really need is to win the championship? So I think that's problem number one, is that the game is unrecognizable. People who played the game for years did not play this form of basketball. Okay. I think that's the best way to say it. All right. Number two is the lack of public availability. And what do I mean by that? So the NBA used to be on like the television station. You didn't have to have cable unless you wanted to watch a game that was in a different city. Like maybe if you lived in New York City and you were a Chicago fan and you wanted to watch all the Chicago games, you had to buy cable. Okay. But you used to be able to watch basketball games all day Saturday. And it seemed like it started pretty early in the morning, at least in New York. It seemed like it started at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There was a basketball game all the way to 9 o'clock every single day, every single weekend, like Saturday and Sunday. That's all you were doing was watching basketball. And sometimes even Friday nights. And but usually Friday night games, you stayed and watched your high school basketball team play. But yeah, it's weird now. Like, I don't really hear of almost anyone making sure that they can watch their basketball games because you have to pay each team a service, or you have to pay for NBA, whatever their season pass is or whatever, or you have to pay $60 to Google to watch the game streamed a month. Guys, it used to just be broadcast. Now I will say this, like ABC is broadcasting the finals this year. I can't get ABC from an antenna where I am, which is crazy. I might have to get one of them huge antennas you shove up in the attic. But unless I do that, a huge directional antenna, I'm not going to be able to watch the finals. And that's kind of depressing. So I think the state of basketball is an issue when you have no availability. That's the first one. It's not easily available. The barrier to entry is too high. Okay, what's the other problem? Okay, the other problem is now there's too many channels of entertainment. It used to be when I was in the 90s, the only people who played video games was like me and like maybe 7 kids at my high school played video games. Now, do I mean like console games? No, everyone was playing console games for sure, but they were not playing PC games. Like my whole generation did not play PC games. It was a select few. It was like the 10 nerds in our school played PC games, and the 20 nerds in my middle school played PC games. Was it growing? Yeah, it was growing fast. There was one teacher. He would let us host LAN games in his Earth Science class. Shout out to our Earth Science teacher at North Salem High School. He was really cool. We used to play StarCraft, and Warcraft. Warcraft 1 and StarCraft 2 and StarCraft 1. It's crazy. And we'd play Quake. That was the only shooting game that we played. You could play 8-on-8, I think. And that's what we would play. We'd play Quake, Warcraft, and StarCraft. That was it. Yeah. So in today's market, the rise of esports kind of is taking some of those viewers away, because now video games are pretty ubiquitous. I run into more kids with gaming PCs at home than I thought I would have ever run into growing up. Like, yeah, and I learned more from kids in my church that are part of the junior high ministry about how to set up my Minecraft setup than I do like from my peers. So it's one of those things that I think really is just different now. The other thing is that basketball has become kind of a hard game to get into from a kid standpoint. And what do I mean by that? So when I was growing up, my public school is very small. Not everyone has the luxury of having a small public school. There was like 500 kids in my middle school, and there was maybe 500 kids in my high school. And so we all knew each other. Not only that, but my class in particular was so small. It was like 60 kids, my graduating class. So if you wanted to play basketball, you just had to be not terrible. Like, and even some of the kids on my basketball team were just terrible. But not all. We were all athletes in some respects. But we definitely had 1 or 2 kids that you were like, meh, you probably shouldn't be on the team. But we needed the numbers. Well, I don't think that's the case anymore. And because high school basketball has become so commoditized as like a means to an end to get to a college thing, that people are playing basketball now like it's like they're already doing a professional sport. And so they're taking training classes, they're doing after school workouts, they're doing, off-season workouts, they're doing training with specialists who can fix their shot, they're doing training with specialists who can fix their jumping, their speed, all these things. And back in the day, it really wasn't like that. Back in the day, it was like, hey, do you want to pick up a game? Yeah, let's go pick up a game. Okay, cool. And then you just go play. And I think a lot of that's lost right now. Which is kind of sad. It's kind of sad. I think that's one of the things I miss the most, is that anyone could play. And now it's like just some people play that game. And you just have to be really good. And you can't push me, and you can't touch me, and you can't all this other stuff. It's like, I don't want to play a pickup game with a guy who thinks this is going to be his career. I want to play a pickup game with a kid who just wants to play. Like, I just want to play 21 points. You know what I mean? Like, let's play 21. Let's see who wins. So in that respect, it used to be a little bit more like golf. where it was easily accessible to people who are not very good at it. Whereas now it's just not that way. It's not an easily accessible game anymore. And the other thing that makes it difficult is you have to be able to shoot from 20 feet out, 25 feet out. I never had range like that. Like I can shoot 15, 20% from 20 feet out if like all the moons align and gravity helps me. But like on a normal day, I'm not shooting threes. I'm gonna pull up at the elbow and try to cash my 15 footers. You know what I mean? Like nowadays, like when I play against kids who are like playing in high school, it's crazy. Their range is crazy and they're so comfortable shooting from 3-point land. And it's one of those things where I'm like, I almost think the NBA should get rid of the 3-point line. And why do I say that? They operated without a 3-point line for years. When did the 3-point line come about? I want to say it was halfway through Wilt Chamberlain's career. Let's see. The NBA did not introduce 3-point line until the 79-80 season. Therefore, there was no 3-point line in the NBA for the 78-79 season and all previous seasons. That means there was no 3-point line in the NBA for 46 years before the 79-78 season. Let me double check that because that is crazy. History of the 3-point line. Chris Ford made the first 3-point basket in NBA history. Okay, so guys, this is crazy. 1979? $1979, guys. Think about how much different the game of basketball would be if there was no 3-point line. Like, you'd have to go back to a big, heavy basketball team. You'd have to go back to, like, a really physical style of basketball. I mean, I guess you wouldn't have to. But also, all these guys, think about this. What was Wilt Chamberlain's career? And what was Pistol Pete? Like, I don't think you guys know how good Pete Maravich was. Yeah. His last year was the only year that he played with a 3-point line. Okay, 70-80. 59-73. Wilt Chamberlain never played with a 3-point line. He played 14 years in the NBA. And he holds the record for the largest points in a single game. I think it was 101. Okay, so imagine scoring 101 points. There's no 3-point line. Wilt Chamberlain once had 53 points and 35 rebounds in a playoff game. That's crazy. Yeah, this is crazy. I don't think you guys understand Wilt Chamberlain at all. This is crazy. The only NBA player to score 4,000 points in a season. He set the NBA singles record for most points in a game with 100. The most consecutive field goals, 18, and the most rebounds, 55. Perhaps the most mind-boggling stat was the 50.4 points per game he averaged during 1961 to 1962 season. This is 20 years before the three-point line. And if not that, perhaps the 48.5 minutes per game he averaged that same year. That's crazy. He is the all-time leader in career points, 31,419, or was at the time, which was later surpassed by Kareem, Karl Malone, LeBron, Kobe Bryant, and Michael Jordan, and Dirk Nowitzki. He tops in rebounds with 23,924. He led the NBA in scoring 7 years in a row. He was the league's top rebounder 11 of his 14 seasons. And as if to prove that he was not a selfish player, he had the NBA's highest assist total in 1967 and 1968. His scoring records are crazy. Most games with 50-plus points, 118. Most consecutive games with 40-plus points, 14 games in a row. Most consecutive games with 30-plus points, 65 games in a row. Most consecutive games with 20-plus points, 126. That's like an entire season. That's more than an entire season. Highest rookie scoring average, 37.6 points per game. Highest field goal percentage in a season, 727. 72% from the field. That's out of every 4 shots he hit 3. Probably because they were dunks. Yeah, many of the second place of these are far behind. So Wilt Chamberlain was crazy. Yeah. Yeah. 7'1", 300 pounds. And yeah. Not only that, he was an Olympic class high jumper. He was a crazy athlete. Yeah. He passed time by playing for the Harlem Globetrotters for a salary of about $50,000 in 1958-59. Crazy. It's crazy. Yep, he won the Big 8 track and field championship, clearing the bar at 6'6". And I don't think he did the Fosbury flop. I think he just jumped over it. It's crazy. Anyway, so when people say like, oh, this is the greatest scoring things we've ever seen, guys, like Pete Maravich, he averaged like 23 points a game as a point guard. Like, he was insanely good. Oh, goodness. In 3 seasons, he scored 43.8, 44.2, and 44.5. Oh, in NCAA history. Wow. During his senior season, he scored 50 points or more in 10 of LSU's 31 games. Holy cow. So crazy. His first season in the league, he scored 23.2 points per game. And if you watch Pete Maravich shooting, he shoots from beyond the arc, the NBA arc, all the time. And people have calculated his shooting and say he would have been a 40-point per game person. So that's a problem, okay? Let's go back and look at what was the last 3 years of viewership for esports world championships. All right. Okay, League of Legends. This is one of the most watched had a peak of 6.9 million concurrent viewers in 2024, 6.4 in 2023, 2018, the final was watched by 100 million people. That's crazy. Okay. See if we can look at this. So it kind of does not surprise me that these numbers here, if you add this to the NBA's current viewership in 2024, it's about 19, which is what the NBA viewership was 10 years ago. So I think there are a lot of things culturally that are causing these problems. I don't just think it's one thing in particular. I think that if you have other options, you're going to find something else to do. If you have games that swing so hard because of the 3-point line, you're going to find other things to do. If you were just playing basketball like I was, to be a good defender and to be a point guard, the game nowadays is a little bit boring. Unless you watch Kyrie or you're watching, Steph Curry all the time. Really, there's no pure point guards anymore. I mean, they're just fancy shooting guards, really. And I think the funny thing is, the reason why watching point guards was fun was because of the big men they sent the ball to. A lot of times those big men could put on a show for you. So I think that it's just hard right now. It's hard to get interested in basketball because, like, for instance, the New York games, I have to hunt all over creation to figure out who's hosting the game. Sometimes they're on Max. Sometimes they're on ABC. Sometimes I don't even care. Like, I just don't care that much. Why? Because I don't even know who's on the team, first of all. And second of all, they're not playing the same basketball game that I played as a kid. They're playing some weird, watered-down version of basketball that wouldn't scare a number 6 player on a professional team in the 90s. Like, if you had to play 90s rules, like a mediocre 10th man on the team in 1996 would be, like, I would say a 16.9 rebound person just because he knew how to box out. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen the Pistons and the Knicks trying to get rebounds during, like, any of their games in the 90s, but it was like a freaking nightmare. And if you did not box out, you weren't even in the conversation. Like, you weren't even close to the conversation. Nobody cared. And just the weirdest thing to watch. Okay, so that all to be said, I'm very happy today. That was me being happy about basketball. Why? Because the Knicks actually won today. They beat the Pacers. And I think the reason they beat the Pacers, one was they played to their strengths, and the Pacers stopped playing to their strengths in the fourth quarter. I don't know what that was about. Karl Anthony Towns had an amazing fourth quarter where he actually played like a big man. And even though he made so many mistakes, like I've never seen a big man make so many mistakes in one game and just still be a positive contributor. I can't believe he is a positive contributor in general. I feel like he should have been a negative stat man today. But if you look, He scored 24 points in like the fourth quarter, right when I thought he was going to be pulled because of making stupid fouls. But OG Anunoby, I think, is the Knicks' best player. Why? Because he's just consistent. I mean, he shot 66 from 3. He was 6 for 9 for field goals. He's had 16 points, even though it looked like he had 4. He had 3 blocks, bro. Come on, let's go. Okay. This guy should have had 8 blocks, but I think they're starting to learn how to play around him. And these 2 rebounds, I don't think that's accurate. I think he had more rebounds than that, but okay. I will say Karl-Anthony Towns did have a lot of good rebounds, and that's great. And his free throws were outstanding. Like, Carl can shoot free throws in my book all day long. But if you look right here, you got to be very careful because everybody else on the team shot 100% from the free throw line, which I appreciate, but that's not going to happen every single it's going to happen every game. I will tell you that. Miles McBride played really well. I think he got some bogus calls. The game was so badly called. If they just called it evenly, I think the Knicks would have had 120 points just from free throws. There were multiple times where you watch the replay and you're just watching like, what was that guy's name on the Pacers? Naismith. Naismith is an excellent defender, and this is a big dude covering Brunson, but he was just like punching him, pulling people down, knocking people in the nuts. Like, he's a good defender, but he is not a clean player. He is kind of a jerk, but he's a great basketball player. I will say, like, he's one of those players I'd wish he was on my team rather than play against him. You know what I'm saying? Pascal Siakam, I thought he played really well, but I think he needs to remember that he is a boss scorer. And when his team starts to suck really bad during a game, he needs to just step up and just start dunking the ball on people. Whoa, he was a negative 21? He did not seem like a negative 21 today. He had a lot of rebounds. Yeah, he had 5 rebounds, 4 rebounds. Negative 21. Why was he a negative 21? He was so hard to defend. He kept switching off well. Oh, that's the other thing. The other thing that's ruined the NBA is big men don't know how to play like big men anymore because they have to shoot the 3. There were so many times when OG Anunoby was being covered by this guy. What the heck's his name? Andrew Nembhard? And Andrew Nembhard is like, 6'4", 100 and nothing, okay? And OG Anunoby is like 6'8" or something, or 6'6" and like strong. 6'7", 240. What the heck? He outweighs him by 50 pounds. This guy was covering him like half the fourth quarter. They should have just cleared out and given Anunoby the ball. He would have had a field day. I don't understand. I don't understand it. Like, it doesn't make sense. And I'm not saying you have to just play the 2-point game in the lane. I'm not saying that. But I am saying that you should start with that to get everyone into a rhythm, to get your offense into a rhythm, and then move out to the 3-point line. I think the problem is people are trying to shoot threes with no rhythm. You can't shoot threes out of rhythm. Like, it's not a good plan. It's not a good plan. Now, can you ignore the 3? No. I do think in today's game, you have to have like 30 to 50% of your shots be 3-pointers. That's just the way the game is played now. Do I think it's fun to watch? Not really. It's pretty boring. Do I think it's the way the game is played now? Yeah, it's totally the way the game is played now. Okay. So, which is fine. Sad to me, but it's fine. But you need to get into a rhythm by getting your big guys into a rhythm. Let them catch the ball, turn around, kick the ball back out to the shooters, and let the shooters shoot a nice jump shot from a good pass from a big man. That's what made good passing bigs really important to the league for years was that they were able to do an inside-out game that would just help the whole team get into a rhythm. And right now, people act like they don't have time for that. So that was a big thing. I think one of the things that they really need to remember is that when Jalen Brunson's not on the floor, the other team has no answer for the way this team plays together. Okay. The problem with Jalen Brunson is not that he's bad or good or he's better than everyone else. I don't think those are the issues that, I don't think anyone questions how good Jalen Brunson is. He is a very, very good basketball player. It seems like he coughs and plays 20 minutes and he'll have 25 points. You know what I mean? Like he could get 25 points if he was asleep. So I don't think Jalen Brunson's a terrible player. The problem is the way these guys play when Jalen Brunson's on the floor is they pass him the ball and they all stand around and watch him. Okay. Now, the offense is kind of designed that way, so I get it. I'm not saying it's their fault, but this guy, Josh Hart, he's a good three-point shooter. I haven't seen him shoot a three-pointer in like 4 games, like or hit one in like 4 games. Why? Because he passes the ball to Jalen Brunson. He's not even a threat. They've stopped covering him. He's a good three-point shooter. Miles McBride is still throwing up the three. I like that. OG is definitely. Mikal Bridges is a great one-on-one 2-point shooter and a good 3-point shooter. And I think that he is a guy that needs to get into rhythm before he starts shooting the three. Okay. Karl Anthony Towns, he needs to get into a rhythm before he starts shooting the three. He shoots the three really well after he's just dunked on people and he's just like kind of beat them inside a couple of times. Mitchell Robinson, I think they should just be doing like Karl Malone, John Stockton pick and roll with OG or Jalen Brunson and just both of y'all charge the lane and either lob it to Mitchell or hit the layup and just let Mitchell clean up those rebounds because I think that's got to be part of the plan for these guys going forward if they want to win the next game, honestly. And Karl Anthony Towns, I love the way he played today. He needs to stop hip checking people. They're calling it every single time. And he's getting paid hundreds of millions of dollars to know this, but if no one's telling him, please tell him to stop hip checking people and getting stupid fouls. I don't have a problem with him grabbing onto like a big man in the lane and getting a foul down there because you don't want him to get an easy layup. I don't have a problem with that, okay? I do have a problem with you hip checking someone and within 2 minutes getting 2 hip check fouls that helped nobody, okay? And all it did was send people to the line for free throws when people get in the bonus. Stop doing that crap. It's so stupid. So stupid. Anyway, all that to be said, I think OG could have scored 30 points in this game if they had recognized this Andrew Nembhard like mismatch. Like it was crazy. Like every time I saw him pick up OG, I was like, they need to pass him the ball and clear the heck out. Because OG could just walk him down to the block at 50 pounds over and just shoot over him. And he probably would just dunk on him. This guy's a good defender, but he's not that good a defender. Not against OG, man. OG would just eat his lunch all day long. Anyway. All right. That's my rant about the Knicks. The Knicks. The Knicks are my favorite team, by the way. I will say that the Knicks made so many mistakes in this game, and the Indiana Pacers really did not make mistakes in this game until the fourth quarter. I would say like 50% of these turnovers were in the fourth quarter, and a lot of their misses, like their free throw percentage was crazy the first quarter and the second quarter. I would say that their field goal percentage, let me see, what was it? Yeah, 44. I would say in the first quarter, this was like 68. Yeah, it was way, way better. Tyrese Halliburton, I don't know what the heck your problem is, dude. You need to figure out how to score at home. What the heck is this? 20 points, dude? Like, you could have 40 points. Now, I will say, I really think Tyrese tweaked his back in the first quarter. There was some play I saw him like wincing and grabbing his back in the first quarter. I know he's had back problems, so I get it if you had a bad game, but like 20 points, dude, come on. Your 3-point game, like it needs to be better than 25%. I mean, I look at your shooting and this 46%, that's what I expect here at the 3-point. Just for you. You're just a better shooter than that. Obi Toppin, 0 threes. That's pretty surprising for 14 minutes. I would have thought he'd had at least 2. He's a really good 3-point shooter. But they did play him better this game. Miles Turner, man, this guy, I would be terrified to be playing against this guy. The last game, he was like 50% from 3-point land. He's a good rebounder. He's a good big. He knows how to seal people off. I think he could have had like 30 points this game. But, you know, it's hard to pass the ball down to a big in a game where everyone's looking for the 3. So, and then this guy, TJ McConnell, the guy that helps all us young guys, short guys think we can play in the NBA. He's still 2 inches taller than me, which is crazy. But I love his play. His play is awesome. He has the speed and quickness of like Steph Curry and the I'm not going to slow down mentality like Steph Curry. Played a phenomenal game today. Yeah, phenomenal. I thought he hit a 3. I guess he didn't hit a 3, but I could have sworn he hit a 3 on us today. But just plays within his game. 3 rebounds. That's so hardcore. 3 assists in like 15 minutes, dude. That's nutsoid. Every 5 minutes he was getting an assist. That's really nuts. And then, 60% from the field. Outstanding, man. Outstanding. He actually points per minute. I think he's the highest on here. Highest points per minute, I would say. Yeah, easily. That guy could be a starter. I wonder what year he's in. I think he's been around a while. He could be a starter. I think it's hard for him to guard other guys. 6'1"? Okay, good luck. I don't think he's 6'1". 9 years. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, he's really good. He's really, really good. Yeah, it makes sense. Okay. Best year was 2024. All right. How did he play in 9 years? Oh. Was he out of the league for 2 years? 2020. Oh, he chose not to play during 2021, 2022. 2022 to 2023. Where was he? I'm curious. That's weird. Is he a Mormon? Maybe he took his 2 years. He re-signed with the Pacers, multi-year contract, August 2021. Yeah, for 4 NBA seasons with Philadelphia. Re-signed with the Pacers, multi-year contract, 2021. Holds career averages 7.5 points. He's one of only 10 players in franchise history to record multiple triple-doubles in the Indiana uniform. Okay. Finished a single-season career high with 6 double-doubles on this season. Missed 7 games due to 1 injury. 1 with this due to injury. 2 due to a non-COVID illness. 2 with sore back. 2 due to sore hip. Oh, okay. 11-1. Missed. Oh, he tore his ligament in his right wrist. Dudley Bradley. That was a big dude. Okay, so fast. That left shrimp, that guy was amazing. This guy is unbelievable. I would put him on my team in a heartbeat. Anyone who says anything different, I feel like Duquette in Arizona. There's a Wildcat. Interesting. From Pennsylvania. To Pittsburgh. He's a good ball player. I wonder what he was doing for those 2 years, but he's amazing. OG Anunoby is amazing too. I love watching him play. I think his game is one of the more complete games. He's a really good defender. He jumps out of the building, man. He's such a high jumper. Like him getting blocks is so much fun. So fun to watch. All right. Cool. Let's see what else we got going on today. I think that's about it. I just wanted to share with you guys my thoughts on the Knicks and on the reason why the NBA viewership is falling apart. If you guys have any questions about that, just hit me up. You can find me on Twitter. You'll see my posts from the Knicks Pacers game, me calling out the refs for being garbage callers. By the way, like not even the first half, this whole game, it seemed like the Pacers got every single call and the Knicks got every single touch call. Like it was way unbalanced. It was super duper Pacers refs this game, and it's just ugly. And I don't even know what the NBA league is trying to do. If you're trying to sway the games and make it interesting, I'd make the Knicks win, of course, which is what they did. But yeah, like what are you guys doing? Like it's ugly when it's that obvious, just so you know. And it's not really fun to watch when it's that obvious. Yeah. It just makes people mad. Makes people mad, makes them not want to watch your game. And I think that's maybe the fourth thing on this, right? The blatant I don't know how to spell blatant. The blatant use of refs to change game outcomes. NBA, if you're not listening to this, call the game straight. Let people win. Let people lose. You know, don't trade Luka Doncic to the Lakers. That was the most boring trade of all time. Watch a young guy and an old guy finish out their career. It's horrible. So boring. It would have been so much more fun in Dallas playing with Cooper Flag. That would have been really dope. But yeah, no, your league is boring right now. Adam Silver needs to go back and look at the play. I mean, they've been doing this forever. I don't think it's Adam's fault. He's just following the playbook. But yeah, it gets really boring when you guys just constantly cram agendas into the game. And I think it's harder to do that in esports. I think that's why esports rose so well, is because it seems like it's 100% merit based. Whereas this other crap is like refs and manipulation of team rosters and manipulation of markets. And it's, guys, I understand it's a business, but Americans can tell when it's not merit based. I mean, we just can. We just can, and it sucks. It sucks a lot to watch things be not merit based. And let's put that on here. All right. I hope that's helpful. I hope that made sense to you guys. Let me know in the comments if you guys think differently. I have no problem with that. Let me know what you guys think. What do you think of this Pacers Knicks duel? I am really enjoying watching it. I'm an old school Knicks fan, so I hate to get invested in stuff because I always get my heart broken when they just, eat dirt and die. But it seems like this team is pretty gritty. I will say if they play like this against the Thunder, they're going to get smoked in 4 games. But if by some miracle they get to play Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves, I think it might be an interesting game. And it would be really interesting to see those two teams play against each other because it's such a big trade with Randall. That'd be kind of cool. So, yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? I think it would be fun to see ex-Knicks playing Knicks and ex-Timberwolves playing Timberwolves. I think it'd be kind of fun. And I think the guys who are playing would think it's kind of fun. It would make for a good storyline. Just saying, NBA. Just saying. All right, guys. You guys have a good night. I'm probably going to go program for a bit. Maybe I should just do that on stream. I don't know. I got to learn Go programming and the only thing I really know right now is PowerShell. So I'm learning something totally different. I don't think learning Java in school counts that much, but I think the compiling aspect of it will help. But yeah, tell me what you think in the comments. Also, let me know if you guys want to see me live stream programming. I can't do corporate stuff, but I can do my personal stuff. And I want to convert something I built into a Go program so that people other than me can use it. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think about that. All right. Hope you guys have a great night.